Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the lives of history's greatest military leaders and explore the events that shaped their destinies. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to examine the life of one of ancient Egypt's most renowned pharaohs, Ramses II. Born around 3003 BCE in the city of Avaris, located in the northeastern part of the Nile Delta, Ramses II would go on to become one of the most celebrated rulers of all time, leaving an indelible mark on Egyptian history. As we explore the early life of Ramses II, we find ourselves in the midst of a vibrant and dynamic ancient civilization. The Egypt of Ramses' childhood was a land of grandeur and majesty, with towering temples, bustling marketplaces, and a strong centralized government. His father, Seti I, was a powerful pharaoh who had expanded Egypt's borders through a series of military campaigns, and his mother, Tuya, was a woman of great intelligence and cunning, known for her influential role at court. Ramses II was born into a world of privilege and luxury, with every advantage that wealth and power could provide. As a young prince, he would have been surrounded by the finest tutors and educators in the land, studying the traditional Egyptian arts of warfare, including archery, chariotry, and hand-to-hand combat. He would have also been steeped in the ancient Egyptian scriptures, including the teachings of the great god Amun, who was revered as the patron deity of the Pharaonic dynasty. One of the most significant events in Ramses' early life was his participation in his father's military campaign into Palestine, around 1290 BCE. This experience would have given the young prince valuable insight into the realities of war and the challenges of commanding troops in the field. Although we don't know the exact details of this campaign, it's likely that Ramses played a minor role, perhaps serving as a junior officer or observing the battles from a safe distance. As Ramses entered his teenage years, he became increasingly involved in the affairs of state, often accompanying his father on diplomatic missions and ceremonial events. The young prince's education and training were tailored to prepare him for the responsibilities of kingship, with a focus on developing his strategic thinking, leadership skills, and knowledge of Egypt's complex web of alliances and rivalries. The city of Avaris, where Ramses was born, was a thriving metropolis filled with merchants, traders, and artisans. The air would have been thick with the smells of fresh bread, roasting meats, and exotic spices, and the sounds of haggling vendors, braying donkeys, and chanting priests would have filled the air. As a young prince, Ramses would have been familiar with the city's winding streets, its bustling marketplaces, and its grand stone temples. Ramses' family was also an important influence on his early life. His father, Seti I, was a strong and ambitious leader who had expanded Egypt's borders through a series of military campaigns. His mother, Tuya, was a woman of great intelligence and cunning, known for her influential role at court. Ramses also had several siblings, including a brother, Amun-her-Kubishef, who would later play an important role in his military campaigns. As we explore the early life of Ramses II, we see a young prince who was groomed from birth to assume the throne and lead Egypt to even greater heights. With his father's guidance and example, Ramses developed into a confident, capable, and ambitious young leader, ready to take on the challenges of ruling one of the ancient world's most mighty empires. As pharaoh, Ramses II embarked on a series of military campaigns that would cement his reputation as a brilliant and fearless leader. One of his most notable battles was the Battle of Kadesh, fought against the Hittite Empire around 1274 BCE. This epic clash took place in what is now modern-day Syria, near the city of Kadesh, and pitted the Egyptian army against a formidable Hittite force. Ramses' tactical genius was on full display at Kadesh as he cleverly deployed his troops to outmaneuver the Hittites. Despite being outnumbered, the Egyptians were able to hold their ground, thanks in large part to Ramses' innovative use of chariotry and archery. Although the battle was ultimately indecisive, with both sides claiming victory, it marked a significant turning point in Ramses' reign, as he was able to negotiate a lasting peace treaty with the Hittites. This treaty, known as the Eternal Treaty, was a groundbreaking achievement that established a lasting peace between Egypt and the Hittite Empire. It not only brought an end to hostilities, but also paved the way for increased trade and cultural exchange between the two powers. The treaty's terms were inscribed on stone monuments and clay tablets, providing a fascinating glimpse into the diplomatic protocols of ancient times. Ramses's military campaigns didn't stop at Kadesh, however. He went on to launch a series of successful campaigns in Palestine, Syria, and Nubia, expanding Egypt's borders and securing vital trade routes. His armies were known for their discipline and organization, with a sophisticated system of logistics and supply chains that allowed them to operate deep in enemy territory. One of Ramses's most notable strategic innovations was his use of naval power. He established a powerful fleet that patrolled the Mediterranean coast, protecting Egyptian shipping lanes and projecting power into the region. This marked a significant departure from traditional Egyptian military doctrine, which had long focused on land-based warfare. Ramses's legacy extends far beyond his military conquests, however. He was also a prolific builder and patron of the arts, commissioning numerous temples, statues, and monuments throughout Egypt. His most famous architectural project is arguably the temple complex at Abu Simbel, with its colossal stone statues and intricate hieroglyphics. As we explore Ramses's achievements, it's clear that he was a true visionary, driven by a passion for greatness and a deep understanding of the intricacies of power. He was a master strategist, a brilliant tactician, and a charismatic leader who inspired loyalty and devotion in his troops. As Ramses II grew older, he faced numerous challenges that threatened the stability of his empire. One of the most significant threats came from the Sea Peoples, a loose confederation of naval raiders who had been terrorizing the eastern Mediterranean for decades. The Sea Peoples were a mysterious and formidable foe, with advanced naval technology and a reputation for brutality. Ramses II responded to the Sea Peoples' threat by launching a series of military campaigns against them. He built a powerful fleet of his own, which he used to engage the Sea Peoples in battle and protect Egyptian shipping lanes. Despite being outnumbered, the Egyptians were able to hold their own against the Sea Peoples, thanks in large part to Ramses's clever tactics and strategic thinking. One of the most notable battles between the Egyptians and the Sea Peoples took place at the mouth of the Nile River, where Ramses II had constructed a series of fortifications and defensive walls. The Sea Peoples launched a massive attack on the Egyptian positions, but they were repelled by the defenders, who used a combination of archery, chariotry, and naval power to devastating effect. As Ramses II grew older, he began to slow down and his military campaigns became less frequent. He eventually passed the reins of power to his son, Merneptah, who would go on to become one of the most successful pharaohs of the New Kingdom period. Despite his declining health, Ramses II remained a revered figure in Egyptian society, and his legacy continued to inspire generations of Egyptians. Ramses II's eventual death, around 1213 BCE, marked the end of an era in ancient Egypt. He was buried in a magnificent tomb in the Valley of the Kings, where he was surrounded by treasures and tributes from all over the ancient world. The tomb, known as KB7, is one of the most famous archaeological sites in Egypt, and its discovery in the 19th century sparked a renewed interest in ancient Egyptian history and culture. Today, Ramses II remains one of the most fascinating figures in ancient Egyptian history, and his legacy continues to inspire wonder and awe. His military campaigns, strategic innovations, and architectural achievements have left an indelible mark on the ancient world, and his name is still revered by historians and archaeologists around the globe. His remarkable achievements, both on and off the battlefield, have left a lasting impact on our understanding of the ancient world, and his name will continue to be remembered for generations to come. That's all for today's War Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography, reminding you to keep marching toward victory.